Stop. Forget everything you thought you knew about wealth and madness. Right now, we are heading to a place where a human life was worth less than a handful of sand. But before we start this dangerous journey, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our other stories. This is the story of the gold rush.
You've probably heard of the California gold rush. But what if I told you it all started with a tiny, little accident? This isn't just a story about finding gold, oh no. This is the story of how that single event didn't just build a state, it completely changed the course of America forever.
Just think about that for a second. You wake up a poor farmer, and by the end of the day, you've decided to drop everything and chase a dream. I mean, that was the fantasy that gripped an entire nation, right? This idea of instant riches, of totally reinventing your life. So where did this incredible, world-changing dream even come from?
Well, it all started with just a little glint in the dust.
And that one little glint, it drew massive crowds.
All of them chasing one single thing: gold. A promise born in some forgotten riverbed that was powerful enough to pull an entire nation across a dangerous, untamed continent.
Okay, so how does a quiet little discovery just explode into a global phenomenon? You'd think it was the gold itself, wouldn't you? Well, the secret wasn't the gold. It was all about how the story got told. So check this out. In January of '48, a guy named James Marshall finds gold flakes. Big news, right? Nope. The papers report on it and nobody cares. People pretty much just shrugged. It wasn't until May that things went crazy. A shopkeeper, a guy named Sam Brennan, runs through the streets of San Francisco waving a bottle of gold dust, shouting his head off. He's the one who lit the fuse. And why'd he do it? Get this, he'd already bought every single shovel and pickaxe in the region. The man was a genius. He knew the real money wasn't in digging for gold, it was in selling the dream to everybody else.
And once that fuse was lit, oh boy, it set off an absolute explosion of migration. Suddenly, it felt like the entire world was packing its bags for California.
Just try to wrap your head around this number: 80,000. That's how many people poured into California in the single year of 1849 alone. To put that in perspective, before the rush, the entire non-native population was only about 14,000. It wasn't just a wave, it was a demographic tsunami.
And these people weren't your professional miners, not at all. We're talking about farmers, clerks, doctors, teachers, everyday folks from all over the world. They were the dreamers, right? The people willing to risk literally everything for that one shot at a brand new life. And of course, we know them today as the 49ers.
But just getting there, that was the first and maybe the biggest gamble. There were basically 3 ways to go, and none of them were a walk in the park. You could take a covered wagon across the plains and risk starvation. You could sail to Panama, but then you'd have to trek through a deadly tropical jungle. Or you could spend 5 long months on a ship sailing 18,000 miles all the way around South America. I mean, each route was its own special kind of hell. The dream might have been free, but the journey definitely had a price.
And for the lucky ones who actually survived that journey, well, the reality they found in the gold fields was a whole lot different from the glittering dream they'd been chasing.
I love this quote from a woman who was actually there, Louise Clapp. She describes everything from round tents and plank shanties to a pine bough home. It just paints this incredible picture, doesn't it? These weren't cities of gold. They were messy, chaotic camps just thrown together out of pure hope and, frankly, a lot of desperation.
So yeah, that dream of a golden paradise, it evaporated pretty darn fast. You had lawlessness, disease, and just brutal hardship. This was the Wild West on steroids with absolutely no rules. Fights were settled with guns, sickness like cholera just ripped through the camps, and the actual work, standing in an icy river all day, digging for specks of gold, it broke people, leaving many of them sick and even poorer than when they started. So who really got rich? Well, here's the big secret of the gold rush. The surest way to make a fortune wasn't to dig for gold. It was to sell stuff to the people who were. Guys like Sam Brennan, remember him, the shovel guy? He became California's first millionaire. And then there's a guy named Levi Strauss. Maybe you've heard of him. He made a fortune selling durable pants to miners. The real winners were the ones who mined the miners.
But this whole pursuit of wealth, it came at a staggering cost. And I'm not just talking about the miners. The real price was paid by the land itself and by the people who had called it home for centuries.
Yeah, behind all the get-rich-quick stories, there's a much darker side. The environment was totally ruined. Rivers were dammed up, the landscape was scarred, and mercury from the mining process poisoned the water. The Native American tribes who lived there, they were displaced, murdered, their populations were devastated. And with no real law, you had these vigilance committees popping up, which were basically mobs delivering their own brutal justice. Floggings, hangings, it was chaos.
And yet, here's the great paradox of the whole thing. Despite all that chaos, all that tragedy, the gold rush fundamentally and permanently reshaped the United States. It's wild to think that out of so much destruction, the foundation of modern America was actually built. I mean, just look at these numbers. In 1848, you've got about 14,000 people. 2 years later, 100,000. By 1860, it's almost 400,000. California went from this quiet, remote territory to a full-blown state in what felt like the blink of an eye.
So you see, the gold rush was way more than just an event. It was a catalyst. It's what pushed California into the Union. It created the need for a transcontinental railroad. It fueled the entire US economy and turned San Francisco from a tiny village into a major financial hub. And maybe most importantly, it truly cemented this idea of the American dream, that with a little luck and a lot of grit, anyone could come here and strike it rich.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What's the new gold rush? The tech industry? Silicon Valley? It feels kind of similar, right? Maybe now it's laptops instead of shovels, but that fundamental dream of hitting it big overnight, it's still exactly the same.
Which really brings us to the final question.
So I gotta ask you, would you have done it? Would you have risked everything for that dream of gold? It really comes down to how much you're willing to sacrifice for a shot at a totally different life.
So, what kind of person are you? Are you the dream chaser, the one who packs their bags and goes for it? Or are you the cautious observer who waits to see how it all plays out? Let us know what you think.
And hey, if you thought this was wild, stick around. Next time we're heading north to a different kind of rush in a much, much colder hell. We're talking about the Klondike.